Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this video. Today I'm going to be telling you what trades I'm expecting next and the trades I'm currently in, okay? So without further ado, stay tuned because today's going to be quite a good video. So if you've been following along, you would have known that I've entered a short right at around 96,700, as you can see in the entry price there. As of now, price is around 95,200, and in total returns, that is 1.5% right now. So let's delete that. Let's discuss the level we hit. We hit a very key level, which was the volume weighted average pull from the top here. This is also a bit of a volume actual value area low level right here, which is a resistance level. Plus you had this little range here, plus a fair value gap. So it was like, a few different confluence based levels there that were telling me that we're probably going to exhaust out here. On the backdrop, you also had momentum was starting to waver. And you can see that here with the market type of metric. So as you're reaching that high point, we had one high here and we took out that high again, which is something I was expecting. And that's when I placed that trade that I took, right? Because the order flow was suggesting we're going to pump up higher, and on the basis that we also had levels that were going higher. Now, specifically what we also saw was exhaustion starting to come out. So what you saw was price made a high, we had a lower low on the momentum. So obviously it's showing that it's weakening, right? And obviously that has since played out as a hedge trade. Now, you all know I'm in a spot trade from down here. So we want to know what's going to happen next. What's going to happen next? Because that's like the thing, right? Everyone wants to know. So I highlighted all the levels, but I'll go over it again briefly. In fact, let's just zoom out to the daily first so we can get a very, very clear viewpoint. So in terms of resistance levels, the main resistance levels are going to be this one right here where we are. There's also one at around $106,000. And there's also one at 111. So these are our main levels of resistance. And that's why when you get to them, you generally have some sort of pullback, which is what we're seeing right now. So if we want to move to the monthly, we can see that 82 is a very key level. Do we have a new monthly formed? We do indeed. So in terms, that's weekly. Yes, new monthly is being formed right now. It hasn't been formed yet, but we can place that here. So we have an $87,000. That's what we got. So let's have a look at that. Actually, let's change that to the monthly level so we can see that there. Now on the weekly time frame, that comes in very close with the weekly too. So this is our new monthly level. I was previously talking about how this monthly was very strong and that would be my invalidation level. Now, just on the basis of this wouldn't be my invalidation, but this would have to be a strong support for me because if this doesn't hold, I'm definitely going to be exiting all my spot trades. I'd be exiting all my trades really if we were to break this. I'd be maintaining the short I have from up here, but in terms of my major positionings, which is long, which is my spot portfolio, this would be my line. The new line in the sand is now here, okay? Before it was down here, now it's here since we've formed we've basically formed a new monthly, and it's also in the backdrop of the fact that we've left the range, but we sort of have, and it resides exactly in the point of control. So isn't that timely? Yeah, crazy. So if you want to check on the weekly, we can see the weekly coincides well. The daily also coincides very well. So very, very large level confluence coming at $87,000. Now the thing is, there's a CME gap down there, and we don't have to hit it right now, but they do tend to be hit. So that's why I'm saying it's not, if we do hit it, I will be looking for to see if we bounce back up. I would expect it to, but as I said, the type of trader I am is I'm a position trader in the sense that when we reach levels, I take trades. So when we reach a level, I'll take a short. When we reach a level, I'll take a short. When we reach a support, I'll take a short. You know what I mean? So I'm always appropriately hedged no matter what the situation happens because regardless of the fact of how we get there, the level is going to be a level of support or resistance. No matter how we got here, whether we pumped up here just like that, or whether we took the highs here first, then came down and broke up, this was always going to be a strong level. Okay. So regardless of the fact of how we got there, that's why I think in terms of swing trading, that's how I do it. And it seems to be pretty profitable for me. So I think that's the safest way. Now we can see clearly the resistance levels are specifically outlined here. 97, there's one at 105 and one at 111. So we want to know where's the support because that's what we want to know. Because if you haven't entered a trade, that's probably what you want to know next, right? So right off the bat, we know that there's a large level of support coming at $87,000, okay? Because we've got a conglomeration of different things. We've got a volume level there too. Now, if we just want to pull out a volume profile of this entire range, we can see that we've got some value area high here. We also got that coinciding quite nicely with a few touches here. So resistance, support, resistance, and a breakup. This is also a very, very good level that we've recently just formed. I think on the backdrop of that, you could probably have nice confluence. Very nice with the 618 here coming into $91,000. So I would say $91,000 is looking very good if we drop beneath that. That would also tie in very, very nicely with this VWAP here. So that's coming in at approximately $91,000. In terms of any scalp trades, I wouldn't be looking for any scalps personally. I would be positioning for a long here, a long here. And then in terms of resistance, we know we've bounced it. So in the meantime, that's why I say, guys, so, I'm short from 80s, 90s. So yeah, right there. I'm short from here. My validation is just the top. In fact, it can be break even right now. So break even, basically, just imagine that. This is the theoretical target, right? So if we were to hit that, that being said, I am still positioned accordingly in spot from $86,000. Okay. So you got to understand that this is a hedge position for me. So it's maintaining my positioning and not losing money. And I can then close it for a profit if we drop down lower, meaning I make more profits. So that's a strategy you can use in the markets when you essentially take spot positions and then you can hedge in the opposite direction on the perpetual market. You can even do collateralized hedges, which is basically using the spot you have positioning and then you doing a trade based on that spot. So taking a loan essentially on your spot, but instead of doing it the same way, which would be a one-sided trade, which is long spot and then long perpetual market with that spot as collateral, that's how you blow up your account. But when you do it like this, it's called hedging. So it's a very good strategy. So that's what I'm looking at. And then obviously for the long, you'd be looking at that just for that. And you'd be looking to take that higher. That's would be my expectation. The two longs that would be valuable would be here and then one down here. But I don't want to see it drop there. We do have a CME gap there. So it is possible. I'm long from here, short from here. We'll take it as it comes. And then these are the levels I'll be looking at. So boom, boom, boom in terms of the levels. And then obviously higher, you got that, right? Regarding order flows, take a look. So got interesting. So this little section here was a large influx of shorts. We've got 18 million shorts opening just at that point, and then price is still pushing up higher. So that's actually a bullish divergence in terms of an absorption. So the price is, yeah, definitely this has potential to run up actually. So we hit the VWAP. You've got a large amount of shorts coming into this right here. So this might pop up, take out the liquidity just above these highs. So what that would look like to specifically highlight that. And I think what I can highlight here is specifically the VWAP we touched would have been this one. Yeah. So we can see that the VWAP is here. And then what we've formed here is a very large sell pressure coming in. Yet price is still holding up very well. So what that could mean is this liquidity that we've formed right above this high might actually get swept out very, very soon. What would that increase be? That would be like a 1% increase. Very, very possible based on the fact that we've got $18 million worth of shorts there. So and the price is still holding up pretty well. So this shows there's an absorption taking place. Now, we took out liquidity from this side. So my base case would be we would take out that high side, assuming we don't drop any further because it's going to take a lot more sell pressure to get us further because since we already had that, right? So locally, I would say we're due for a little push up considering we've got that. But that being said, it's not a high conviction trade. You know, like I want to emphasize specifically for my style is I'm only going to be trading in those zones I spoke about here, here, and here. Other than that, I'm not going to be taking a trade. And I feel like it's so much better mentally when you do that because you're not running around chasing price. And it's the same philosophy that can be applied to anything in life. You're not running around trying to chase it. Instead, you're just waiting for it, being patient. There's no rush. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video so far. In the description below, you can see I have all the links below to different exchanges. We've got VELTO, which is like 0 trading fees if you sign up with the link. We've got the WEEX link, Bybit. So those are trading. You can sign up with my referral and trade. Yeah, it helps support the channel, helps grow the channel essentially. And then, yeah, follow through. You got all these different ones. And then also you can subscribe to these channels, the Moon, also because I do videos for them. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, have a chat. I'm here on Instagram, and then Twitter. I have a Twitter account. I need to get more active on that. But other than that, yeah, I'm heading over to Dubai in one day. So I'll be over there, probably make some videos over there in that office that the Moon has. And yeah, we've been hard in these videos all along. If you've been trading along, you've been able to understand. Shout out to Melly. She's been tracking along. So yeah. Anyway, guys, I will catch you in the next update. For now, have a great day. I'll see you guys next time.